We are officially live. Welcome, everybody. This is the Small Business Runway TV show. It's an exclusive business series that we run on Instagram Live every single Monday with your faves, my faves too. And the whole point of this is to speak to the people and the leaders that, we feel can really add value into your life and both your personal and, your business development. And so true to form, it's always a pleasure and an honor when my guests actually honor the time and, show up for this live. So I'm really, really excited to have this conversation. But as usual, we have to give it just a minute or two, for Instagram to invite everybody, tell everybody that we're live. But if you are here on this Instagram and you think somebody might enjoy this conversation, go ahead and share the live. There's a little arrow button at the bottom of your screen. Go ahead and share it to as many of your friends as possible. Today we are talking to international based film, television, and content creator. And so I'm excited for everybody that's into film, everybody that's into television, everybody that's into, just production and really just storytelling. This is the live for you. So go ahead and share it with as many of your friends as possible. And then we will begin in a minute. So yeah, I'm so happy to be back. It's always such a pleasure to hang out with you guys. It's always a pleasure to be able to bring you the conversations that I think, are worth having. So, my goal, as I do every single week, is to basically bring you somebody that I think can add a little bit of value. We try to get people that have the experience, that have, the knowledge in their particular industry. So if you know anybody that is, just doing the most and doing great things in their industry, go ahead and make sure that you, just DM me, suggest some people, and so that we can go ahead and invite them. Okay, let's see. Hello to everybody that's joining. Hey, guys. I hope you've had a fantastic Monday. I have. And so I'm just looking forward to this conversation. We're about to introduce our guest in a minute. My goodness, look at me. Okay. So hi everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dina Madonsela and I am a business builder. I speak, I teach, and I train small businesses with practical tools to grow their businesses. I'm also a broadcaster, so I'm on a local radio station that is called Alex FM. So I'm there weekdays 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. having the conversations again that matter. And then I am also, I do these networking events and events that are aimed at basically bringing SMEs and entrepreneurs and small business owners the opportunities that they want and need. So my job is basically just to connect, just be that connect system and that support structure for small business owners. So that is all about me. I would love to actually get to know more about you guys. So if you are here and it's your first time joining, please just drop me a heart emoji. Let me know where you're joining from so we can properly greet you. But we are getting ready to have our conversation. I see. Oh, where is the time going? Okay, this is scary. This is scary. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add our guest because I'm obviously cognizant of time and he has been here since the minute I logged on. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some more to the conversation so we can... Okay, so I just added. Yes, there we
Hey,
go.
how you doing?
Hi, how are
Good,
you?
good, good, good.
Good. Good to see you. Thank you so much for honoring my invite.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So anytime that
Yeah.
I'm always there. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good to hear that. So Samar, geez, I usually just give it a couple of moments, for people to start joining us. But I think, you know what? I do want to respect your time. So we'll go right ahead.
No,
So
don't don't
I
don't worry
have
about me. I'm
been,
fine. Don't worry. No pressure.
you're fine. Okay, great.
No pressure.
Okay, amazing. So basically, I've been watching you for a while, and I always kind of time, when I start actually, talking to people and just inviting them to the platform.
Hmm.
But I've seen some amazing things. I'm so impressed with Kings of Joburg. I'm so impressed with your previous work. I'm just like, no, you know what? There's a lot of people in South Africa specifically that want to get into the film and television industry. So who better to have this conversation with than the guy that's been in the game? I want to say 24 years, but I want to get it right. Has it been 24 years now?
Something like that. You stop counting after
Something like
20.
that.
After 20, who cares, right?
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty. So basically, just a short introduction. You are obviously, a US-based entrepreneur. You're a philanthropist, an international film and television financier. You're a content creator and distributor, and you've got obviously experience in the industries, more than 20 years, and you've been working in various sectors across US and South Africa for well over 13 years. My
Yes.
first question has to be, what is your interest in South Africa? In fact, Africa as a whole.
So I've been across Africa, not just South Africa. I've been to
Mm,
16 different countries in
yes.
Africa, and I've been working
Yeah.
very intimately across different sectors. Naturally, film and television is one of them. Um, but whenever I'm asked that, been asked that question a lot over the years, right? They say, why Africa? Or if I'm in Ghana, why Ghana? If I'm in Nigeria, why Nigeria?
Mm,
Now, why South Africa? Why not? Is my response
yeah.
always. Why not? Is it all about
Yeah.
just the US or the UK? No, it should not be. I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
you get on a plane, you fly to the other side of the planet, and you will see human beings participating in the same things that human beings participate in on the other side of the planet. People going to school, people going to work, people raising their children, people going out to eat, people going to parties, right? Same concept.
Yeah.
And we all, I think, in this social media age, we all consume the same world news, right? If something interesting
Mm,
has happened in any part of the world, we get it at the same time. It's just what time do you wake up? What time zone are you in to read it first? But we all have the same human experiences. We love to laugh. We love to cry. We don't might not love to cry, but we cry. We laugh. We love. We get angry. We get sad. We get happy. So we're all human beings, and if we can communicate in a way where other people can understand it, then I always say, why not? I don't believe in. I think tribalism, in the broader sense of things, limits us as human beings. And if you think about all the problems in the world, is all of these because everybody thinks one tribe. And when I say tribe, I'm not just talking about in the African context. I'm just saying period, right? You talk about race,
yeah.
and within race, your nucleus, and we tend to not work together. We tend to alienate each other based on tribalism, right? You find it fascinating, even as my experience bouncing around Africa as an African American, you hear everyone say, well, this is how we do it. Everybody's, even in South Africa, right? So South Africa is very specific about South Africa and South African stories. And I find it fascinating that sometimes I hear the same conversations that I would hear in America as it relates to Africa in South Africa. Somebody told me,
Oh.
one day I'll go to Africa in South Africa, right? I'm like, but we're in Africa,
Wow.
right? Well,
Gee whiz.
Africa. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but you'll find those conversations all day, every day in America. People ask me, they used to laugh at me when I started going to Africa. I'll be honest with you. People would say,
Yeah.
what's in Africa? What are you doing in Africa again? You going again? It started from that. Now, 13 years later, everybody wants me to bring them with me to Africa, right? So now Africa is like the place to go. So,
Wow.
but prior to that, it was the same ignorance of what are you doing in Africa? So
Mm,
when you start to travel and embracing different countries within Africa, and if you're South African, you start embracing traveling to other parts of Africa. because travel is the one thing that opens your mind. Even if you're talking about from a creative standpoint, it opens up everything. Because once you start to travel and once you start to engage with people from different cultures, different accents, like you have a really strong accent that I can appreciate. You might think that I have an accent. I can't hear it, right? Naturally. But you start to expand your interactions, your storytelling, your business acumen, you name it, it expands once you start to, when I say travel, I don't mean just, you know, from the most expensive version of that. Oh, you got to go to Italy, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm just saying, whether it's just cross the border or travel
Yeah.
outside of your province, you know, and start to engage with other people, you'll be very surprised how everything else starts to expand. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, you just expand as a human being.
Yeah.
I hope I'm making
Got
sense.
you, got you completely. And so I mean, I want to know where this all comes from, like from you. Just a little bit about your background. Like you talk a lot about, just storytelling and, telling, people stories, So like, are you that guy that's like watching everybody, in the corner, and just watching how everybody moves and you're just assessing everybody like, hey, that could be a story. Like, where
You
does
know,
this
so
come from?
I'm from New Jersey, New York City area, New York City Metro,
Yeah,
and if,
yeah.
you know, I was on any given day, I might find myself on a subway, and in that subway, there's all kinds of people from all over the world, different faces, different. And I would sit there and I would say, what's going on in that person's life? I wonder what a day in life is like in that person's life. What about that person? You just see, so uh, I call it people watching. You people watch, right? You try to understand
People are.
how
Okay.
what the human being experience is like, and from you know, different types of people. And then sometimes you have your perception of people, right? And then you open your mouth and you try to engage that person. And then sometimes you realize more times than not, you realize that your perception was wrong. And you won't know that until you start talking to people. I always say this as well. Traveling across Africa, if I'm in a car and I'm driving, I'm at a stoplight or robot, as you guys say, and you see people on the side of the road, and they might look like they're not happy, or they might look at you strange. Now you can look back at them strangely, or you can say hi, and then you watch their face light up. Hey, I always do that. I make a point to do that. And again, that's just a small way of explaining how perception is one thing. Look at this mean person on the side of the road who probably dislikes me. But when you smile to them and say hello, or just wave or nod, they light up. You're like, well, that person is just like me. They wanna be happy and have a smile as well. But they might think that I might be too good to speak to them. Am I making sense here? So the human
You're making a
experience,
lot of
the
sense.
human experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think my greatest,
Yeah, yeah.
my greatest. I think the greatest thing anybody can do, and I just naturally enjoy doing it, is just engaging people in a very basic way. And that might be a smile.
Yeah.
People say, you always smiling. Well, why not? Should I be mad? Should I be angry? And even if so, what good is that going to do putting that back out to the world? Where if I can smile and greet somebody and just exchange some positivity to somebody else, I might improve their day or their life, and they might do the same to somebody else. So I invest a lot in human exchange on a very basic level.
Yeah.
But I think in our society in this day and age, we've lost that. Everybody's just doing what they want to do for them. What's in it for me? What can I get out of it? If I can't get anything out of it, it's no point of me. It's not worth my time. You understand?
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, I think it's all about human capital and the human experience. And through that
Yeah.
process, again, as I said to you, through that process, you'll find that um, even if you're just talking about it from a creative standpoint, your storytelling it increases because you understand. And if you're a director, you're a writer, it increases you because you're interacting with people enough to know, but that's not a natural reaction, or that's not, you kind of figure out how to build characters, and if you're a director, how to direct and pull real emotions out because you're dealing with emotions every day, or you're engaging people in their emotions every day. So
Yeah.
I hope I answered your question.
You answered it. You did. You did. So, I mean, that also then makes me think of the fact that, so in fact, let's start here. So, your journey as just, coming up in the industry, there's always this conversation about, like hashtag open up the industry. I might be a little bit ignorant about, if it's a global conversation, but specifically in the South African context, in fact, in Africa, there's always this thing about open up the industry, just giving opportunities to young and, upcoming, fresh creatives, as opposed to, always just using the same kind of people, same kind of, people have some kind of a monopoly over the industry. How was it for you when you started up? Did you get like a warm welcome, like, hey, Samad, you're here, you're creative, let's do this? Or was there a bit of resistance, especially in the early startup stages of your career?
I'm very radical. I'm not sure if you want to hear my take on it. I'm a very radical.
Oh, no,
I have a
please
very radical mindset,
indulge us.
and my mindset is smother them with progress. Right? I don't. I've been an entrepreneur, and that's why I say I embrace the word entrepreneur before anything, because within that you can be anything. You can do business in any sector. You basically have a portfolio of things that you're involved in, right? If you talk about film and television, it's the entrepreneur's mindset that is uh, the secret sauce. If you have an entrepreneur's mindset, that means you will figure it out. You will make a way. You will not wait for anybody to give you permission to do anything. So I come from a long line of entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I never had a regular job before. I've worked with people, not for, and I'm not looking down on anybody who does. I'm just telling you my mindset. That mindset, before I moved into film and television, I was already in business. I owned restaurants, I owned barbershops, I owned real estate. Started from being a barber, my own barber, renting my own chair from a barber shop, making my own money, which made me enough money to invest into real estate, which real estate made me enough money to get into the restaurant business, and so on and so forth. At the tail end of the my restaurant journey, um, I realized I wasn't happy. I was ready for a gear change. I was ready for a new chapter. Life is about chapters. I think you should always try to break up your life. What do I mean by that? Don't do the same thing all the time. That's fine if you're doing that, but challenge yourself. What's the next level for you? And hopefully, in this day and age, as you think about what's the next level, everything you're involved in now should be uh, leading up to the next level or complementing the next level, not just doing one thing today. Oh, tomorrow I want to do this. Oh, I'm ready for a new chapter. It should all be leading up to it. So I like to say I'm on the same highway, just different lanes, right? So with the mindset, that means as I moved into the film and television industry, I got into it. I went to film school, but I approached it with already having a business hat on. So all I needed to know was the rules of engagement. Show me the creative process, show me the technical process, show me, let me understand. And then my entrepreneur side of things, I just had to understand what is the best business model for me. And what does that mean? I'm a big stickler for owning intellectual property, and that is your IP, as we call it. So if you create something, typically, if you go to uh, a broadcaster or whomever, and you say, okay, I have this idea, and they say, well, we like your idea, we're gonna fund it, and then now it becomes their idea. Now you might get a check out of the budget, but it's theirs. That means if you die, your intellectual property doesn't go get passed down to your kids or anybody else. You heard of the Beatles catalog, the Michael Jackson's catalog? You ever heard of that
It's all owned
terminology?
by someone else.
Yes, but see,
Yeah.
that's intellectual property. That's they just call it the catalog of publishing and masters and what have you. So if you approach it from an entrepreneur standpoint, you're using your creativity, and then you're trying to place it in the business structure that you can then produce something and then make some money from it. And then guess what? 10 years down the line, you still have rights to that content. Okay, so I'm giving you that standpoint. But now, when you talk about the gatekeepers, when I say smother them with progress, I mean take matters into your own hands. Right now, through technology, you're in South Africa, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm on my phone. I believe you might be on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on our phones and we're talking, we're having this conversation. This same phone is able to, if you turn it landscape, you can tell a story with that same phone. You can create a proof of concept with that same phone. There's no gatekeeper stopping you from writing down your creative idea, your script, or your short story, whatever the case may be. No one's stopping you from doing that. Only you can stop you from doing that. Now, once you have that, only you can stop yourself from calling a friend or two and placing this camera in a way to show that not only do you have a good story, but you know how to execute that story, right? And then only you can stop yourself from placing that short clip or whatever you put together, from putting that on Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case, Facebook, and then see what the public has to say about it. And then if you find an audience that really likes what you have to offer, then the numbers will show. And if you have the numbers that show, then you can make a case. Listen, this is what I'm doing. Maybe you do another smaller portion of that and just keep growing your numbers. I'll give you a prime example. The show Insecure. Are you familiar with that show?
Yeah.
Well, that show started off as a YouTube. She called it something else. She did the same thing I'm telling you right now. And then once that happened, they said, hey, we're going to give you a deal because you got something, you have followers, you obviously tapped into something we don't have, and we want your audience, and we want to work with you because you know what you're doing. So therefore, her deal was structured in a way where she has more involvement, more ownership, more, versus I have a script, please fund it. Bye-bye. So I'm saying to you, if you change your mindset from the industry is locking you out to there's nothing stopping you from positioning yourself. Put yourself in a position. Sometimes you have to step back to propel forward, right? So if you step back and stop looking for a meeting for somebody to say yes, but you go back and you create something, you go out there and you shoot it with your own phone and put it out there just to see if it has a traction. If it has traction, now you can speak with confidence. Now look, I made this. I got a zillion followers who really like this, what I'm doing. So if you don't want it, this person wants it. And then when they say, no, we want it. Then you negotiate, you have somebody who's a good negotiator, like myself. But no, you have a lawyer who can go ahead and get in there with you and negotiate the best terms for you where you have some ownership. Now, when you do meet these people who can say yes, you're talking on your terms. Because you see.
But now, Samad, let's flip the coin for a second, because you're a film and television financier, right? Which means that you are that company or that guy that actually gives money or commissions. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Other films or other, television content. But then what is it that you specifically are looking for? Because the truth is we can have that show reel, that, however long, short clip, put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook, put it on, Instagram, and, have it published, self-published. But then it could absolutely suck. It could just be like, completely, either ignored or, the market is not ready for it, for whatever reason. What is it that you look for as a financier when you're looking for, this television and film content?
Well, so I'm going to look for the same thing I'm telling you. I would look for if nobody's feeling what you're doing, why should we put any money behind it? Right? Think about it. So if I'm taking a chance with your content, but no one is not gaining any traction, no one is saying, hey, check this out. Because if it's good, word of mouth will travel. People will forward it. It's just that's just how we're wired right now. If I see something that's good, I'm going to forward it to the people that I forward stuff to, and vice versa. So if it's not gaining any traction, then that says a lot, right? That means it's not. Maybe it just needs some more work before you're ready to have a conversation with somebody. But I look for the same thing. If there's something that is I think is really compelling and is like the new wave, I want to figure out how can I get behind it and package it up and get it to market. That's just smart business, right? So, I think a lot of us get stuck with in the creative space so much. You have to have a creative mind and a business mind. And if you don't have a business mind, that's okay. Surround yourself with somebody who does, right? Because in the end, it's all about business. And I try to tell people, I always advocate to stop using the word filmmaker in the traditional sense. You know why? Because a filmmaker, to me, over my experience, filmmakers are happy to make something creative happen, and they're not really interested in the business behind it. So for instance, they would say, hey, I have this project and I need 20 million US dollars to make it. And you say, well, how did you come up with 20 million US dollars? Well, we want talent, I just want it to be big. And that's not a good answer, because I have to look at, well, $20 million, how would you make that money back? 20 million means the film would have to do 100 million, 80 million in the box office, 100 million. The cinemas are going to take 50% of that. The distributor is going to take their 30%. And then the marketing cost is going to be whatever it's going to be. And then you still owe the 20 million. You get it? So the business hat is going to run the numbers. The creative person just wants to make the movie for however much money they can get, and they don't care about the numbers. But that's why I say, if you're a content producer, if you think as a content producer instead of a filmmaker, then the word producer, I think you have a fiduciary responsibility to think about the business of it. So I'm all about mindset. It could be the same thing we're looking at, but if you're on channel wrong mindset, and somebody else is on channel right, channel wrong is going to get it wrong. Channel right is going to maximize the opportunity. So in this day and age, things are changing. The business is changing. Globally, everything is changing. So you cannot have the mindset that we've had 3 years ago, 2 years ago. And then we are in a new world, right? With a pandemic, and we don't know when that's going to end and how that's going to go. And companies are tightening up their budgets. Travel is changing. You got to think differently.
Yeah. But Samad, I'm almost trying to get you to give us an actual map, so to speak. So if I've packaged my content and I've got it, how do I then spread the word? How do I make it go viral? Let's just talk of somebody who's got really, really good content. And I know you said word of mouth, obviously spreads and people talk about it, but are there specific tricks and tips that we can use to say, okay, if you add or include this and this in your content, then this content is more marketable, so to speak. And once I packaged it, how then do I make sure that I push that content? I don't know, I'm almost asking you, how do I make content go viral?
Make it good. If you make it good, it's going to go. If it's good and compelling, it's going to go. That's what I'm saying. It's very simple. Sometimes we look for something complicated to be the answer when it's very, very simple. If you make something compelling people will want to watch it and they will pass it along to somebody else. It might not be for everybody, but if there's an audience for that content, people will want to watch it. It happens all day, every day. So now, the other thing is when you make something, and this is again going back to an entrepreneur's mindset. If you make something, you want to say, well, what's my motivation for making it? Well, I just want to do something that I always wanted to do. I don't care if it makes money. I don't care. It's just something I wanted to do. Okay, then fine. If it's something I want the world to see this, there's a story I'm really passionate about. There must be awareness around it or what have you. Fine. If it's something that you just think is really commercially viable, then you got to think about it from this standpoint. Do I have all the elements in there that I call it ticking the boxes, right? Do I have good characters? Do I have a compelling story? Am I telling the story properly? Okay. If it's in vernac, if is my audience just for local? This is just you have to be Zulu to understand this. It's for Zulu people only. I mean, I've heard stories like this where no, this is you have to be Venda. This is just a Venda stories. You have to be Venda to understand it. If that's the case, then you have to understand what you're doing. But are you telling a Venda story, a story where the character happens to be Venda, and through watching their journey, we pick up things that are synonymous with being Venda, right? But the story it translates beyond that, meaning it's a human story that anyone can appreciate as long as you give me a subtitle, or maybe it's 50% subtitles, maybe there's some English in there, depending on where you see this going in the end. So if I'm making something, I'm saying, okay, I want to put this out globally. I want people in Canada to watch it. I want people in South Africa to watch it. I want people in Australia to watch it. I want people in the US to watch it. I got to make sure that we're telling the story in a way that is ticking the boxes where it can translate or travel. You understand? So that's on in the broader scheme, but on a smaller level, even if you're making that proof of concept, you still want to have the same mindset I'm trying to explain to you. What is your end game? Who do you want to see this? Oh, you might say, well, there's this new channel that's coming up, and it's a Zulu channel dedicated to 100% Zulu content. That's what I'm going for. Then you know how to target it. So don't make it with all of the things I just said. But if you say that there's this new channel, there is an international Pan-African channel with an international flair, then don't make it where only you have to be a Zulu or a Venda to understand it. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. But I feel like
I've got you 100%. Yeah.
I mean, so I always just go back to channel mindset. I tell you, don't wait for anybody to give you anything. Nobody's going to come in and save the day. You have no excuse. No one's stopping you from writing. No one's stopping you from picking your phone up. No one's stopping you from creating something and sharing it with whomever. Check it out, forward it, share it. And if it's good, people will bite into it and start commenting on it. Oh, this is good. I want to know more. I want to see. Is there a new season? Is it a feature? You'll start to get that engagement, and you capture that information and you share that as part of your bigger. So when you go to do something bigger, you can say, look how I just did this. This is my first piece that I did, and look at the engagement that I have. I have an audience. They're interested in this. And now find out who's interested in your audience. What brand is interested in your audience? What channel is interested? What, as you guys call it, LSM, right? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay. What LSM is? Are you
What do
targeting?
you guys call it in the US then? What do you guys call it in the US?
We say target market. Who's the audience? Who's the target audience?
Oh,
Then we just say, okay, black females from the age of this to that, or whomever, but
Yeah.
we don't call it LSM. I still know what LSM means exactly, but I know
It's
what it
it's
means.
it's
I know what it
living
means.
standards. Oh, you know what it means? Oh,
What
okay.
does LSM stand for? I haven't figured that out yet, but I understand
No,
what
it stands for, can I tell you?
please.
It stands for Living Standard Measurement.
Gotcha.
So it's just a little standard, living
Living
standard
standard
measurement. Yeah.
measurements. Got you. Like upper middle
Yeah.
class kind of thing. Lower. Okay. Got it. Got it. So yeah, but my thing is, again, in anything, whether it's business, film, television, you have to be able to just say, you know what, I'm going to make it happen, and then align yourself with people who can help you make it happen, and then be relentless about
Yeah.
executing your plan. That is the answer for
Okay.
anything you're
So
involved in.
yeah, so let's get right into that. So it's mindset. So I'm just trying to get down the attributes or the the skill set, or what are the things that we should have that can basically help us move our journey forward. You spoke about mindset,
First and
and
foremost,
then it's first and foremost. Okay, so it's mindset. What
which
else do you think is important?
um, mindset is important, right? Being on the right, having the right operating system here, right? You cannot be in the
Mm,
old version and in the new software. You need a software update to be on the right channel. Like, okay, this is how I'm operating. Then you got to realize, don't make sure you vet the people that you bring around you. Who are the right people for the right thing? You cannot have everybody just because you're cool with everybody. You have to really look through your Rolodex or relationships and say, who is the right person? Because typically we don't all have the answers to everything, right? So you always need
yeah.
somebody who can connect with you and help move the ball forward. So who are those people, right?
I'm
And
gonna hop on this a little bit. Sorry, Samad. Sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna hop on this a little bit because then, in a case where you are, your ordinary self, wherever you are in the corner of the world, and now now I've identified, maybe you, Samad, as somebody that can help me, right? How do I then get to the people that can really help me? Because I mean, it's one thing, I mean, we've got our peers, that we maybe same industry peers, but there are certain, people that we would like to basically, well, how do I ask the question? Like, how do I get to the people
I
that
know what you're
matter?
saying. See, this is what I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah.
I hate using the same word over and over. With this mindset
Yeah.
that I'm telling you,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
matters because the people you think don't matter are are typically probably the people who matter the most. And you might spend your time the old way. How do I get through the gatekeepers? The gatekeepers won't let us in the industry. Or they keep giving the same people the same contract. How do I get to those people so they can give me a contract and not those same people, right?
Yeah.
But meanwhile,
Yeah.
you're overlooking the person, the executive assistant, the person that's next to that person. You're overlooking the people who you might not value as the decision maker. You understand? So if again, I would just say start by first identifying who do you have at your disposal, depending on the situation, the business, because this thing covers all kinds of business, right? Not just film, TV, right? Correct? Correct.
Yeah.
So no matter what sector, whatever you're trying to do, you want to be able to say, okay, who do I have who might have links that I don't have in this space, and then how can I make it advantageous for them too? So that they help me, and if it works out, they get something, so that they're happy. Relationship is good, right? So you have to think about it from that standpoint. Because when you start to look at your network, you might know 2 people, 5 people, you may know 100 people, but then you need to know who do they know. Oh, you know what? I don't know it, but the nanny, my aunt is the nanny for their kids, the decision makers' kids. You just never know who knows who. So you got to look at, don't worry about just thinking about the end game, but who else, who can help me move the ball forward? And once you do the work, people like to be, they like to jump on board a moving train, which is why I said,
Woo.
get your numbers right,
Yeah.
create something, put it out there, let people see that you're on the right track. People like what you have to say, or the stories you want to tell, or the business idea that you have, or the product or the service. There's a market for it. Once you understand that, then people will say, oh, wait a minute, that's the next wave. That's the next, I want to be part of that. Bring them in. Let's have a meeting with them. Where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do? And when you have that opportunity, I will hope that you're ready. Because a lot of people want the opportunity, but they're not ready. You understand? So doing this process of mindset and getting ready and understanding who's in your relationship portfolio right now, that work that you're doing will prepare you to be ready whenever you do get to the decision makers. But I'm trying to tell you, do the work a different way. Think about everything you do a different way. So by the time you get to those people, it's a different conversation. You're not going in there, oh, please help me. You're going to the table with them, trying to pitch themselves to you as to why this is a good fit. It's different. But you got to exude what I'm saying first by mentally being on the right page.
Yeah.
If you're not there,
Yeah.
nothing else that you put out is gonna gravitate to you in that way, because you're not in the right frame of mind. You understand?
But okay, so yeah, I got you completely. This resonates with me so much. You've got no idea. But you keep talking about mindset, and I'm sorry I digress. I was asking you the actual the actual sort of steps, mindset, people. But let's hop on a little bit about mindset, right? What should we be doing to try and cultivate that mindset?
Let me tell you.
Growth mindset.
Let me tell you. First of all, feed yourself with brain and spiritual food. What do I mean by that? Whether it's books or YouTube or Instagram, the world is at your fingertips right now. There's no excuse not to get information. So you need to be tapping into, instead of the who got the hottest song or the biggest booty or the biggest, who has the best fashion or the fanciest car type of Instagram pages, go to the people who are talking to entrepreneur stuff. Go to those pages that's talking about the mental mindset. Go to those pages that's feeding your mind, your spirit. Go to pages talking about vibration and healthy eating. Those are the things that's going to make you be the best vessel, the strongest vessel, the sharpest thinker you can be. And when you feed yourself with that, then you start to attract that kind of thing, those kind of people, those kind of, because your energy is going a different direction. Have you ever felt something behind you, or you thought somebody was standing behind you and you turn around?
Yeah.
You don't see them, you don't hear them, but you felt it, right? Because that's your energy. That's your energy field. Your energy field. Somebody else's energy field touched your energy field. So we're all energy. We're exuding energy all day long. Now, if you either putting out the negative energy where people are like, no, people back away, or you putting out positive energy where people want to gravitate to you. In order to get to that space, you have to be in the right mindset. You got to feed yourself that kind of stuff. The way you take in food, you got to take in good information. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you sleep better. It's going to make you wake up and your brain is running at a fast pace. If you're not, if it's doom and gloom, if it's stuff that you're watching people who allegedly have the things that you want, and you're feeling bad about yourself because you're not there yet, and the gatekeepers won't let you in. What did you call it? You said it's a term. What's it called? Block me? What is it called? What is the term you said? You said it's called.
There's a very.
What is it called?
No, I don't know. But there's a very derogatory word for the people that block you, the gatekeepers.
Yeah, forget the gatekeepers. They don't matter. They don't matter. They don't matter. They do not matter. Nobody matters but yourself and the relationships that you have. Nobody matters. There's nothing stopping you from doing what you want to do. Nobody. They used to say, oh, the TV, the media. The media can't stop what's happening on social media. They can't stop information that gets out there because social media is its own life force. There's nobody stopping you from discovering an audience. There's just nobody but yourself.
But yourself.
But you
Sabat,
can.
when did you get to this point? When did it like click for you?
Let me tell you when it's still clicking. Okay, it clicks from trial and error, failure, 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 failure. You fail, you retool, you regroup, you learn from your mistakes, you get back up, and you go at it until you get some W's under your belt. When you get some W's under your belt, you still might take a loss in something else. That's fine. You regroup, you retool, you learn from it, you keep moving forward. But when you realize you can fail and get back up and then find success, and also realize there will be more failures to come, that's okay. You learn from it. You keep moving forward. And as you do that, your confidence will grow. You will realize, hey, people are people. I could be my own worst enemy, or I could be my best asset. So you have to, and that's what I'm saying. It's not like, hey, and every day I'm feeding myself. I've established who my mentors are. I have like 3 elders I go to for certain things. I have, mentors in different things that I don't know. I don't know everything, and what I don't know, I want to surround myself with somebody who does know. So you never stop learning. So you're always learning and always evolving and feeding yourself with the stuff that you want, the stuff that you need to help you get to where you want to go. Okay? That's important. And so it's not like, hey, again, I'm a work in progress. We're all a works in progress. So that's what I am. But I do understand the fundamental that I control my mindset. One, I can control, I will always do what's within my power. And I will always do my best. And I will always try to honor my relationships and my obligations. With that, anybody else, people will gravitate to that. They're like, oh, what you doing? How can I help you? How can I get involved? You'll be surprised. But if you sit in a corner waiting for somebody to come help you, come save you, and you're vibrating on a negative field, and you're not feeding yourself with the stuff that's going to make you better, then you're going to be stuck in the same place for a very long time. And you're going to get depressed and blah, blah, blah. You see?
Do you still struggle with anything at all? Like just
Of course.
something when it comes to like, yeah, no. I know obviously you're human, right? I'm just talking specifically when it comes to your mindset. Are there things that make you kind of like fall off the wagon every now and then because it's like, damn, this is,
This is
I
why
need to
I
grasp.
just said, listen what I just said to you. This is very important. And everybody should do this. Find your support group. Find your mentors, your elders. Okay? When I say elders, it might be somebody that talks. My father is one of them. I got like 3 top advisors. My father is one of them. I have another one, another mentor of mine's elder. I call him my other top advisor. That I check in with these people because I need to recharge. Every 2 weeks or what have you, or if I fly up to wherever, I make sure I go have a sit down with them. I need to recharge. So you got to constantly feed and recharge. It's not a one, oh, I got it, now I'm ready, I never need anything else. You recharge. You say what's going on. You might not be looking at it from the right perspective. And it might not be one person. You understand? It might be one person that advises you for this, another person that advises you for that. You check in with these people to keep yourself fine-tuned, like an oil change, right? A tire rotation. Same concept. You are a machine. You're a vessel. You need the right foods. You need good vitamins. You need water. You need spirituality. You need things. So you got to feed yourself with this stuff. That's what I'm saying. If you look at yourself as the brand, you are the brand. You are the business. You are the business. And therefore, you have to make sure that this business can run. You can't run a business if you can't run your life, right? That's fair. If you can't run your life, you should not be trying to run a business. If you can't be disciplined, say, you know what, I'm going to sleep at a certain time so that I'm recharged. When you sleep, your cells regenerate. Your brain cells, people say my brain is fried. I just got to sleep. I can't think about anything right now. But when you sleep, everything repairs itself. You get a new batch of cells or what have you. And typically 6 a.m., 7 a.m., you wake up, your mind is at its ultimate level. If you're sleeping, if you're feeding it with the right stuff. So we have to take care of ourselves. If we're not taking care of ourselves, don't worry about taking care of a business. It just doesn't make sense. But that's mindset again.
Well, it's mindset. I almost feel like everything is like mindset. Like forget about the questions that I planned. Like
Yeah, well,
what is
it's
your
true.
biggest influence?
I can tell you that
It's
too.
all about
But think
mindset.
about this. Have you ever done something, gone to the gym and you're with a trainer and you're like, oh, I can't do it. I don't want to go to the gym. And then you go to the gym, you're like, ah. And you're just going through the motion. But then, then your trainer's like, no, you're going to do it. You can do it. And then you're like, yeah, I can do it. And you can do that one more push-up or that one more squat or that one more sit-up or that one more whatever. Because it's the mindset. It's what's being told to you. The mind is so powerful. If we're not even using, I think we're using like 5% of our brain, but it's powerful. So you cannot go through life. Otherwise, you're just going through life you're just going through life. It's like the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, right? You got to be able to see things differently. And, you just need to be at the ultimate capacity to do it. So, but if you mentioned something about influencers, anybody can influence you. If it's something that you're passionate about, if business is what you're passionate about, there's a billion influencers on it. And when I say influence, I'm not just talking about people who are showing you lifestyle. I'm talking about when you tap onto some of these pages like the Gary V's and different people who are telling you brain food every day. Feed yourself with that stuff. Be influenced by them. If you meet an entrepreneur, if you're sitting down with somebody who's an entrepreneur on any level, here's a question I would tell you to start doing. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of doors that opened up for me in relationships that relationships and opportunities that develop off the back of me asking this question. And the question is, what's the next chapter for you? Just ask anybody that. What's the next chapter for you? Especially the ones that you who reached a certain level in whatever they do. Ask them what's the next chapter for them. And you might be surprised. You might look at them like, wow, okay, this person is. But their next chapter might be something that's in your wheelhouse, something that you're probably able to help them with. You understand? You might find yourself working with that person because the stars might not align for what they already do, but they might align for the next chapter for them. Remember, I told you I was doing this and that, and in restaurants, and I wasn't happy. And then the next chapter, I just went to film school. I went to film school. And then once I finished film school, I just put my business hat on to the back of what I learned, and I just kept going. But I was ready for another chapter because I wasn't feeling as fulfilled as I would like to have, felt at the time. So once you understand chapters, ask people, have conversations about, well, what's next for you? And you'll be surprised.
No, what I'm about to ask you next, then, right?
Huh?
You know what I'm about to ask you?
What's next for me?
You know what my next question is, right? Yeah, what's the next chapter for you?
I'm in it. So the next chapter is for me. Remember I said the same highway. You don't want to be in a position where you are going in different directions. You know, you're on the roundabout, you're off the ramp, you're going north, you're going east. You can't function that way. But if you have an idea and say, I'm an entrepreneur and I like these sectors, portfolio, right? I like this. I like tech. I like agriculture. I like film and television. I like manufacturing. I'm interested in hospitality or travel industry, whatever that might be, whatever that makes up the things that you're interested in, right? So things come along because you're open to it because you have a space for that. That falls into this. So if I ask you what's next for you, oh well, I'm thinking about doing this thing in the whole tourism thing. Well, I just happen to be also in that space, right? So for me, I'm just building a portfolio of things I'm involved in within the things that I deem as within my vision for what I'm doing in my company. So the next chapter is constantly just growing that and meeting new people. And I love through my work being able to create jobs for other people, create opportunities for other people through the business and the stuff that I do. So that's what's fulfilling for me. I feel as though I've identified my purpose in life. Um, if what I'm doing increases, great. But I've identified what I'm doing, and I'm happy at doing. You understand? And it's just the journey and the process within it is where the sweet spot is for me. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. But I would say this: we can't be afraid to fail, because that's what would paralyze people. That's what paralyzes people the most: being afraid. And that's why they look for one person or a gatekeeper or whomever to actually come and make magic happen for them, because they're scared of the process. And I love the process. It's the process that's the exciting part. Yeah, that's the excitement. That's where it is. That's where the deals come together. And then once it's done, you sit back and like, oh, that person's working. That person's working. People are paying their bills, feeding their family off of, something that I helped produce. That's a beautiful thing.
I'm going to ask you just a few final questions because
No
I obviously
problem.
want to respect your time. But I'm going to digress a little bit. In fact, it's not even digressing. I just want to know from your view, and this will then lead me to another question about how you actually met the Fergusons, right? Connie and Shauna Ferguson. I'm sure people are curious to know. I know I am. But do entrepreneurs and business owners date in their lane? Should we be dating in our lane, entrepreneur with entrepreneur?
Is this a love life question or theoretical?
Pardon?
Is this a love life question?
It is a love life question, but I guess I'm not being specific to your love life. I'm just asking what your opinion is in general.
Okay. It's a very interesting one. I think if anything, it's more so. Uh, well, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, depending on what level where you are in life, right? Because if two people meet and they're trying to be entrepreneurs, um, and all of the hard work that comes with that. So you're running over here trying to get things done. And you're running over there trying to get things done, and this will suffer somehow. Typically. Now, if one is a bit further along and a bit more stable, meaning they're generating money, they have, they're still climbing a ladder with other things, but they can handle a relationship, and the other is figuring some things out, then that can work a bit better. One thing that's also tricky, if a person is an entrepreneur and is finding a great deal of success, and the other person has a normal job, that can also be a bit tricky sometimes, because typically the entrepreneur is on the move. and can't plan to say, you know what, I have this many vacation days coming up,
Yeah.
versus someone who's more structured. I'm off Saturday and Sunday. I get off work at this time. I have some vacation days at this time, which might not align with the entrepreneur. So that could also be
Yeah.
some friction there. But I think with anything, it's about the right energy fit for you, in the right mindset again. Because if a person is understanding and both people are understanding and are okay with what they're getting into and understand that this is what life would look like and are willing to make it work, then there you have it. Because I don't think there's any such thing as just like a perfect fit. Everybody's different, and it's just a matter of seeing, can we go like this, or will we always be like this, or can we go like this? And that's what you're looking for. This.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Got you. Got you completely.
Yes.
So how did you guys meet? You and the Fergusons, how did you meet? Just if you can give us a quick, just overview of that. I think that would be interesting or nice to know.
Well, yeah. Well, being in the industry, we you all kind of know some of the same people, and I will also go back to the power of social media. Okay, this is why I say there's nothing stopping you but you. I believe Connie and I were following each other and comment, support, from afar, and then I met Connie first, and then Shona. You see, and over the time, we were just like, okay, okay, well, I see you, I see you, I see you, I see you. We see each other. And then I was in South Africa. I said, we need to just finally stop seeing each other. We need to sit down and let's meet. So myself, Connie, and Shona sat down, and so they're also entrepreneurs. You see, you might look at them as, celebrities and actors and a production company, but they are bona fide entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So here you are. Here you have three entrepreneurs and three creatives sitting down. The rest was history. It's just like, not only are we going to work together, let's figure out how we're going to do it. What's first on line? Let's just do it. Let's do it. And when we sat down that first time, we said, after we were done, we said, let's do it. And here we are. We've just been doing things. That's the power of mindset, though. That's the power of social media, the lesson here is social media, right? Building relationships, planting seeds, nurturing the relationships, then sit down and the question I had for them and vice versa, what's next for you? Well, we're very successful at this, good at this. I would like to be doing this. I would like to be doing that. Perfect. I know. Let's together we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, social media. What's
Social media.
next? What's next?
What's
And
next?
the right mindset to, hey, if you approach it as an entrepreneur, you'll be surprised. Things just open up. You'll meet other like-minded people, and you'll be able to figure out how to fix the Rubik's Cube easily because you're vibrating with the right people. Contrary to that,
Yeah.
you want to avoid the wrong people. And the wrong people could be people in your family. Doesn't mean you avoid them in life, but everybody that loves you is not won't always be in the best position to hear your ideas, your dreams, and what's next. So you have to always find who aligns with you. You understand? I mean, but the Kanye and Shona Ferguson story was as simple as that. And I tell you, we haven't
Are you
looked
guys
back from
recording?
our first meeting. We haven't looked back.
Wow. Does this mean you're working on new content?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah,
I
100%.
saw a question earlier on. Of course you are.
Of course.
Someone I think was asking, and I just also I thought it was an interesting question. Do you, if somebody wants to work with you, if somebody's a creator, whether they're in film school or just somewhere in the industry, are you open to that kind of
Well, I mentor a
conversation?
lot of people. I do. I always take in mentor mentees. I mentor a
Mm,
lot of people, and when I can, I try to give internships. And I've seen a lot of people, have find success in their own right thereafter. So that's a yes.
okay, amazing. Would you mentor someone like me who's not in entrepreneurship? Well, not entrepreneurship, who's not in basically film, and I guess this is also content creation. To be honest, I'm also a content creator. Somehow I'm doing somewhat of television, so let me not even downplay that.
There you go.
Um, but I mean, do you then do kind of reality TV?
Yes, I do
Versus,
reality as well. I do everything. I'm a content creator, producer. I do films, I do reality, I do scripted, I do whatever. You see? I don't know if you saw in my post today. We have a series that's coming out, Making of a Mogul USA. We shot 16 episodes of that. That's coming out soon. Are you familiar with a series called Top Actor? Have you ever heard of Top Actor?
top,
Yeah.
I've heard about Top Actor. It sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Can't
that's my
remember
show.
where
So it was a show we shot in South Africa, two seasons, came on BET. It's about actors, and yes. So that's Top Actor.
Oh,
So we'll be doing a new season of that as well in South Africa.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Got you.
yeah.
Woo. So what
But
this
yes,
what
yes,
this
I
influence?
mentor people all the time, and I would definitely mentor you. Absolutely. I like you. You're all right with
Yeah.
me.
Thank you for that. So just tell us where we can find you, how people can follow your work.
Well,
What
I'm
can we see
easy.
that you
I'm easy. I'm just at Samad Davis across everything.
everything? Okay.
SAMADDAVIS. So
Yeah.
very simple.
Very simple.
Yeah.
Got you. Alrighty. So yeah, my final question then for you today is then what is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
My legacy is being value added to other people. I have a South African name. Let me
What
tell
is
you
the
this
South
story.
African name?
So, but it's interesting. I'm gonna tell you a very interesting story. I've been the same way all my life in terms of um, I, thinking of things or creating opportunities for other people. Right? So, my mother would always say that you're good at that. You're always figuring something out and helping somebody else with their dreams or their helping them get to the next level. Or I've been good at that. Um, and then when we were doing Kings of Joburg, the head of wardrobe, Timby, she said, you must have a South African. She's Zulu, by the way. You must have a South African name. You must have but I can't give you one now. I have to really, really get to know you and watch you and watch you and watch you. And then at the end of when we were rapping, she came to me excited. She said, "You know what? I got your South African name. I have it."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, what is it?" She said, "It's Smangaliso, Smanga, right?" And I
Oh,
said, "Oh,
yes.
Smanga." She said, so it means blessing. Somebody that brings blessings and opportunities to others, a gift, right?"
Yes.
And she said it's across the
Yes.
Nguni language. It's like means similar. And I said, "Wow, that's very interesting," because my mother would always say that, right? So I've embraced it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what.
Yeah.
So I think that's my thing. If I could, I mean, we built schools in West Africa before. It's like we've done a lot of stuff. I do a lot of things here in the U.S. as well. So anytime I can be a part
Yes.
of something that help somebody else put food on the table, or teach them how to fish and not give them fish. So what I was talking to you today is about fishing, not waiting for somebody to give you a piece of fish. And I don't believe in that. I believe get the tools to learn how to fish on your own so you can always eat. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you a piece of fish. So I think my legacy is built around just being involved in stuff that helps so many and touch the lives of so many other people. To me, it's not about money, or it's not about all the traditional things you might think of, but more so really being a part of things that uplift other people. You know, so that's
so much. We didn't even touch on your philanthropy work. We literally did not even touch on that. But yeah,
well, you
I
know
guess
what? That's what I'm saying is, honestly speaking, I feel as though my regular work is in tandem with philanthropy. Because again, if you can create jobs, even if you're just talking about a production, be a part of a production, and you see 100 people working, coming to work every day for something you help put together. That's what you're doing is these people are getting paid. They're going out and supporting other businesses. They're feeding their family. They're putting kids to school. That's a beautiful thing. So that's what I love about entrepreneurship as well, because it's a direct tie into philanthropy to me. Yeah. So yeah, I think so. I'm going to quote Mr. John Hope Bryant. He's the guy who's in the clip that I posted today in the making of a mogul. But he always says, and by the way, I met him on that show, producing that show, and now I've added him to my mentor box. You see what I'm saying? So I've established my own relationship with him to be able to tap in, and that's what I mean. But he says you have to do well in order to do good, sustainably. I mean, meaning it's not about money to do good for others. You can do good for others with no money. You understand that? But in terms of being able to systematically help others, you have to do well in order to continue to do good. Does that make sense?
yeah.
That's
I got you.
yeah. And he runs a huge philanthropic.
So Clip is also saying Smangaliso can also mean surprise.
Surprise, yeah, surprise, yes.
I was thinking of it in a wonder. So Smangaliso means wonder.
Wonder,
In my
surprise, gift, yeah, all of those things.
yes,
All of
this
those things.
gift, this like
Yeah, all of those things. All of those things. Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing, and I've been given names in different places, but that's the one that resonates with me the most. And I think it was fascinating how she said, I can't give you one right now. It's going to take some time for me to find the one for you. And then when she came up with that, I was like, that's so interesting. You see? So,
Samad, I could go on and on because I generally do as a person, just go on. But I'm so grateful for this moment. Like, I wish I could literally take the words that you said today and just embed them, even if it's just one person's mind, okay, maybe I'm one, but even if it's just one other person, because you have no idea how the mindset and just your whole vibration as a being, that's something that I'm learning about. That's something that I'm also making sure that I consume a lot of content. I'm also getting mentored, and it's just amazing that you would speak about this. There's everybody who's successful has these basic principles, and mindset is like probably the biggest one. We can talk about diet, we can talk about exercise, we can talk about how we place ourselves in the right place at the right time. But mindset is one of the biggest things that there is, and I wish I could literally just take it and just hop it onto someone else's mind to say,
yeah,
you got it. You can do this.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
does this allow you to play it again later? I mean, is this like a recording, or is after it's live is gone?
yes. No, so I definitely keep a recording. In fact, I actually post it on YouTube as well.
Oh, okay.
Um, so I post these on YouTube. I mean, we have to keep the content. We have to keep these gems. We just
Yes,
sort of let them go.
yes.
So yes, I definitely post it on my YouTube channel. Small business runway for anybody that's interested to see, other previous interviews that I've done, and other conversations I've had. But this has been a phenomenal conversation, and I can only thank you, just for opening yourself up and for just giving us the time to talk to us. So I really, really appreciate that.
No, absolutely. No, I appreciate you thinking of me, and I'm honored. And again, I'm a Pan Africanist. I'm all for it. So again, I'm not I try to break the whole tribal mindset, and let's just
Yeah.
be humans, and let's tell stories, and let's work together. Let's figure it out. It doesn't matter where you are. We shouldn't get stuck there, and a lot of us get stuck there, and it's not for the greater good. So,
Yeah.
anytime I can speak on entrepreneurship and mindset and the film and television industry, everything I'm saying doesn't matter what industry you're in, it applies. It just
Yeah.
applies, you know? And remember, the takeaway is people like to be part of a moving train. The train is moving, people will
Woo!
jump on board.
People
Make the
jump
train
on.
move. Make the train move. That's your job. Get the train rolling.
Yeah.
Okay? And then
Wow.
and then invite people on. If they don't want to get on, somebody else will get on. Fine. Some people might
Yeah.
get off the train. That's okay. Others will get back on the
Yeah.
train. You understand?
Woo!
But don't ask
With
anybody
that
for
said,
permission. Don't ask anybody for permission to make the train move. Make the train
yeah,
move yourself.
make the train move.
Yes, make the train move.
Wow. This is a drop mic moment. Like, drop mic. I'm just going to drop my pen for now. But Sama, thank you so much. I wish you nothing but the best. I
Thank
mean,
you.
more grease to your elbows in everything you do. May you just blossom and bloom. I'm pretty sure with the energy and the type of person that I see that you are, there's still greater things that are going to come. I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait until I believe we'll also have our own meeting in South Africa. In fact, not even in South Africa. Jeez, I don't know why I'm even limiting this. But I mean, there's lots of work to be done in the African continent. So I'm pretty sure that at some point in time, our paths will cross, and I can't
Yes,
wait
yes, yes.
for
I'll
us
be back in South
to
Africa
back
in a
and
few
be like,
weeks.
hey,
I'll be back. So we can keep the dialogue going. But I really appreciate you, and you keep up all the good work that you're doing, because this is philanthropic work that you're doing, because you're creating, you have a platform where you are giving people an opportunity to soak up information that they may or may not already be getting, and I think that's a good thing. So it's called paying it forward. You create an opportunity for somebody else. So I commend you for that.
thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, to everybody that is watching, we definitely are going to save the live. So you can catch up on it a little bit later, but go ahead and follow. So it's
D. No, two D's.
SAMADAVIS.
Two D's,
Oh,
right?
two D's. So it's
SAMAD.
Samad Davis.
Correct.
Okay, so let's try it again. So it's SAMAD and then another DAVIS across all social media platforms. And I'm sure he'll be happy to chat to you, to mentor you, whatever it is that you think you can align with. Samad Davis, he is open. But thank you so much, guys. Keep the conversation going even afterwards in the comments, and let us know, if you really, really enjoyed this. I know I have. So we only have you to thank for hanging out with us, and then of course our guest, Samad Davis. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank
Until
you.
next time,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
All righty.
Salute.
Salute. Bye bye.
Thanks, man. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. All right. So that was Samad Davis, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this. I thoroughly have. And I can't wait for you guys to, just comment. But everything else will be up on YouTube so you guys can see what, just catch up on what happened. Do us a favor and just share so we can keep this conversation going so that we can reach people who were not, available at this time. So they can also see that there was this conversation going. Tag myself, tag Small Business Runway and tag Samad Davis on social media and let us know which part you enjoyed the most so that we can keep the content coming. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, it is a good night and goodbye from me to you. It's nothing but love. Cheers, guys.